Good morning, and thank you for joining us for Windows 10 Innovative Devices for Your Business. My name is Jen Tiefentiller, and welcome to our webcast. Our guest speakers are Kaylin McKenna and Mike Brophy. Before we get started, let's review the platform. On your left-hand side is our media window player. Go ahead and use that to adjust your volume settings. Beneath that is our Q&A window. Submit any questions you have related to the webcast, or if you incur any technical issues, go ahead and put those in there as well. And we'll be sure to answer them in the order received. Thank you so much, and we hope you enjoy the event. Kaylin and Mike, take it away.
Hi, my name's Kaylin McKenna, and I'm a Surface Product Marketing Manager.
And I'm Mike Brophy. I'm a Surface Partner Marketing Manager in the U.S.
We're here today to talk to you about Windows 10 and Windows 10 devices. When we released Windows 10 back in July, we talked about 4 key pillars for business: security, productivity, manageability, and devices, which is what Mike and I work on every day. So the important thing when we think about Windows 10 is that it works great on the devices you have now. You don't have to buy new devices to take advantage of the great things Windows 10 has to offer. But since Mike and I work on Surface, we're going to talk about how Windows 10 and Surface work together to really create an incredible experience that works across all 4 of these pillars. So we're going to let Mike kick it off talking about Surface Pro 4.
All right, so first off, we're going to talk about the brand new Surface Pro 4. But before I dig too deep into that, I want to talk about the Surface Pro 3 and what made it successful. So about 18 months ago, we launched the Surface Pro 3, and many large customers around the world have adopted that device as their go-to, such as Coca-Cola, BMW, and LVMH, which is basically Louis Vuitton. They make really nice handbags. But why did they choose Surface Pro 3? It was because it was the most versatile device. It redefined a form factor in 2-in-1s, and when I say that, you get 2 devices in one. So where you would normally carry a laptop and a tablet with you everywhere you go, you now have 2 devices in a single form factor. The Surface Pro 3 came in at a lightweight 1.76 pounds and 0.034 inches thick. So it was very thin and light and very, very mobile. It also has a removable type cover, so whether you wanted to use it in tablet mode or using it as a normal laptop, you had that ability. We also offered some great accessories such as a docking station so that you could extend it and hook it up to external monitors, as well as the great Surface Pro Pen, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Other great factors for the Surface Pro 3 were the Intel Core processors that it offered. We brought a lot of power to be able to run both native desktop applications as well as modern applications in tablet mode in a very small, compact-in form factor. It also has a very durable magnesium chassis that allowed it to have a great fit, and you could really tell how high quality this device is. Enough about Surface Pro 3, let's talk about Surface Pro 4. So we took all the success that we enjoyed with Surface Pro 3, and we didn't want to completely redesign it. There was no need. We had a winner. So what we did is we took all the best aspects of the Surface Pro 3 and took it to the next level. So what you'll see in the Surface Pro 4 is a very similar form factor. So from a width and height perspective, the actual chassis of the device is identical to its predecessor. However, with the brand new screen, you'll actually see we went from a 12-inch screen with the Surface Pro 3 to now a 12.3-inch screen. So the bezel, or the black space around the edge of the screen, is actually smaller, giving you even more screen to look at and enjoy your applications, as well as a much higher resolution. So we brought a better screen resolution to the Surface Pro 4, as well as all of the great processors that our partners Intel have afforded us. So the brand new Surface Pro 4 comes in Core M, Core i5, and Core i7 Skylake processors, which are the latest and greatest Intel processors, some of the first devices available on the market today with these processors. So pretty much the most powerful processor you can get in this size of a form factor. Other things that I want to talk about with the Surface Pro 4 is the kickstand. So with the Surface Pro 3, you had a kickstand that was incredibly versatile. It's a friction kickstand with an amazing mechanical hinge that goes from basically 0 to 150 degrees. So you can use this device anywhere that you are in your daily life. So whether you're mobile, you're on the bus, you're on an airplane, you're laying at home on the couch, you have the versatility to basically use this device anywhere you want it. One of the other things that's made the Surface devices very, very popular is the fact that we have some great ports in terms of the full-size USB, which not a lot of other tablets offer. So we have a USB 3.0 port, as well as a mini HD video port on the side. Both the Surface Pro 3 and the Pro 4 have these, as well as the Surface 3, which we'll talk about later. The charging port on the side of the Surface Pro 4 is identical to its predecessor, the Surface Pro 3. So if you already invested in some accessories for a Surface Pro 3, they will work with your Surface Pro 4 and vice versa. The next thing I want to talk about is the brand new type cover. So as I did mention before, the type cover actually is removable. So as you see here, it magnetically clicks in, and then it has a magnet along the bottom of the screen that allows you to get a really stable feel for when you're typing. The improvements that we've made with the Surface Pro 4 type cover are several, and it's great. It's the thinnest type cover that we've ever made. It's actually backwards compatible with the Surface Pro 3 device, so if you already have a Surface Pro 3, you can upgrade to the brand new type cover, which I highly recommend. It has backlit keys. We've also spaced out the keys to give a more natural typing experience, as well as the mechanical feedback is a really beautiful, soft, elegant feel to the type cover, and it's absolutely amazing. And I'm not just saying this, we improved a lot over the previous version. What else is different is the trackpad. It's 40% larger, and it's even more sensitive than the predecessor. It's got up to 5-point multi-touch, so you can have multiple fingers so that you are operating with all the different features that are available with Windows 10. Beyond that, we also have a US-only fingerprint recognition version of the keyboard type cover. So if you purchase that version, you actually have a fingerprint reader right next to the trackpad that will allow you to log in your device running Windows 10 using only your thumb or finger. And that goes right in to the actual biometrics that the Surface Pro 4 offers. It has 3D infrared cameras built into the front camera that allows you to use Windows Hello, which is one of the brand new biometrics features for security for Windows 10, where you stand in front of the device, it recognizes your 3D infrared picture of you and will allow you to log in without ever entering a password anymore. And this really expands upon the fact that Windows 10 is incredibly focused on bringing security to its customers. Security has changed a lot in the last several years. From the last time when we had Windows 7, which was launched over 7 years ago, security has changed in terms of hacking, customers and companies being at risk. And so Windows 10 really tries to take that to the whole next level. Other security features I want to talk about briefly is the USB port. If for some reason someone plugged in a USB stick to the side of this device and it had a virus on it, Windows 10 has a feature called Device Guard that from the time that you turn the device on until you turn it off, it's actively monitoring for security threats. And so if you plug in a USB stick that has a virus, Windows 10 will notice that and wipe that USB stick, so you can never actually download that file onto the device itself. So just some of the things that we're using Windows 10 to take security to the next level when it's paired with this brand new beautiful hardware. The last thing I really want to talk about is the Surface Pen. Hopefully you've used this and you've experienced it, but if not, it's an absolute great writing experience. So even though the device was shut off right there, I one-clicked and I'm right into OneNote, and I can actually just start writing away. We've upped the pressure points on the brand new Surface Pen by up to 4 times, so you have over 1,000 points of pressure. That sounds like a lot of points of pressure, but what that does is really replicate a normal writing experience that you would get with a fountain pen. We've also changed the pen's mechanical construction, so now instead of a pen loop on the side of the keyboard, it'll actually magnetically attach to the side of the device, so you can take it anywhere you go and you're not going to lose your pen, which is great because the pen is expensive. Other things is we removed the eraser button that sometimes got in the way of your finger, and now you actually use the eraser on the pen to erase on the screen. So lots more functionality. You can still one-click to OneNote, as you saw me do there. You can double-click to take a screenshot, which will copy it directly into OneNote, as well as holding the pen tip down will open up Cortana, which is the voice assistant that will allow you to search for files or use other functionality of the Surface Pro 4 and Windows 10 feature. All of these great things come together with the brand new Surface Pro 4 and Windows 10.
So the next innovative device we're going to talk about is the Surface Book. And the Surface Book is already being hailed as one of the most innovative devices of the year. And at Microsoft, we call it the ultimate laptop. Let's find out why. So the Surface Book is in my hands right here. You can see that it has a more traditional laptop form factor. It has a thick base that offers a standard laptop typing experience. You have standard spaced keys on a backlit keyboard and a very large glass-covered trackpad with 5-point multi-touch. It's a pretty incredible typing and mouse experience with the Surface Book. It has this beautiful fulcrum hinge. And what that does is it actually extends the base of the device, which gives it a little bit more stability in your hands. So even though it weighs 3.48 pounds, it feels very light when you're carrying it around in an office environment. Another thing to notice about the Surface Book is the screen. It's absolutely beautiful. It is 13.5 inches. And it has over 6 million megapixels at 267 dpi. It is a magnificent screen. But what we really wanted to do with this device is create one of the most powerful laptops on the market. So what did we do? First, we worked with Intel to use their new Skylake processor, their 6th generation. So this is available with both an i5 or an i7 chip. And like the Surface Pro 4, it's one of the first devices on the market to have that Intel processor in it. But we also added some NVIDIA graphics. So you have discrete graphics options with this device, which is fantastic for gaming or if you want to do AutoCAD, really intensive software. But what makes this device truly unique is that even though we have this extremely powerful laptop, we didn't lose the versatility that we offer with the Surface family. So when you hold down this button, you're able to detach the device and you get this beautiful thin tablet, and we call this clipboard mode. This device is the thinnest and lightest Intel i5 or i7 processor in the world, which is pretty incredible. It weighs 1.6 pounds, so this is actually lighter than the Surface Pro 4. We're also able to flip this around and reattach it. And we can use it, we call this canvas mode. So it has the full power of the device for really easy pen input. Why did we design it this way? Well, a lot of the power of this device actually lives in the keyboard base. We have 2 batteries in this device that gives us up to 12 hours of battery life. 9 hours live in the keyboard, and 3 hours live up in the clipboard. So by being able to reattach and turn it around, you're able to use a really pen-friendly mode for 12 hours, which is pretty incredible and very innovative. What this device does really well is it takes advantage of one of the Windows 10 features called Continuum. And what Continuum does is it looks at how you're using your device and makes recommendations for how you will interact with Windows 10. So for instance, when I'm using this in a standard laptop mode when the screen is turned around, Windows 10 will look like this, regular desktop mode. However, when I detach this device, Windows 10 will suggest that it transitions into tablet mode, and you'll see this really beautiful, touch-friendly screen. This is called Continuum, and it's a perfect example of how our hardware and our software work together to create really innovative and user-friendly experiences. The other thing that the Surface Book offers is the pen that Mike talked about earlier. So it has the same technology where you click once to OneNote and click to hold for Cortana. Lastly, I want to talk about the ports we have in this device. So it has 2 USB 3.0 ports, so one more than our Surface Pro line. It uses the same charger as Surface Pro, which allows it to use the same docking solution as well. And then it actually has a full SD card slot. So if you're a photographer who works a lot in Photoshop, the Surface Book is a very convenient device for you. So all of this is what makes Surface Book the ultimate laptop. I'm going to hand it back to Mike to talk to you about Surface 3.
Last but not least, we're going to talk about the Surface 3. And here it is. So the biggest difference between the Surface 3 and the Surface Pro 4 is going to be the size. So it's 10.8 inches versus the Surface Pro 4, as I mentioned earlier, is 12.3 inches diagonal. It's got a great screen resolution and also comes equipped with the front and rear-facing cameras. The front-facing camera on the Surface 3 is 5 megapixels. The rear-facing is 8 megapixel autofocus. The Surface 3 is not compatible with Windows Hello, which is the facial recognition that you can get on both the Pro 4 as well as the Surface Book that Kaylin spoke about. However, the Surface 3 does come compatible with Windows 8.1 as well as Windows 10. So you can upgrade to Windows 10 and you get all the same great features of Windows 10 in a much smaller, lighter form factor at a better price point. So the Surface 3 is a little bit cheaper. It also runs an Intel Atom-based processor, so it doesn't run the same Intel Core processors that the Pro 4 and the Book do, but it has a very, very speedy Atom X7-based Intel processor that still allows you to use the full functionality of both Windows 8 or Windows 10, as well as the native desktop applications or other modern apps that you're running on the device. Other things that the Surface 3 does have is a 3-position kickstand. So as you'll see here, 3 different versatile positions that it can actually be used in. Although not the full fiction kickstand of its bigger brother, the Surface Pro 4, one use case that we'd really like to demo is if you were to sell this into a classroom and every student had one of these at his or her desk, and they got a little bit rowdy, getting excited for recess, and they maybe leaned on the device. It actually has a breakaway kickstand. So no worries there. All you have to do is reset it, and it's functional again. So unless you physically try and rip the kickstand off, this device is very, very durable because it's a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact. Other things that the Surface 3 offers, it also has a removable type cover. So as you'll see here, the Surface 3 type cover, a little bit smaller, fits the device perfectly, but comes with a lot of great features, such as the great silky smooth trackpad, as well as the stability magnetic line that basically attaches to the bottom of the screen. Beyond that, the Surface 3 also still has a USB 3.0 port, so you can connect any of a number of peripherals in to utilize those working with the Windows operating system. So some of the customers that have found great success with the Surface 3, I've already talked about education. We've seen a great, very high level of collaboration between students and teachers when using the Surface 3 in a classroom environment by using the Surface Pen and OneNote, where when a teacher is writing in their OneNote, the students will actually see that on their device. So the collaboration level is very, very high using the Surface 3. Other customers that have found high success with the Surface 3 include customers in retail or point of sale. So if they actually use this as an installed device, they can run any number of applications, or other types of customers that use line of business applications working with third-party software providers that are Windows-based. So it has all the great features of Windows 10, it comes with all the great security of it, and it's very, very dynamic in the way that you are able to use it in any environment. The Surface 3 also comes available in an LTE version, so if you're not around a Wi-Fi connection, you can actually take this on the road and still remain connected. And so some of our customers that have found high value with that are some of our state and local government customers. If you have auditors or insurance agents that need to be out on the road and always need to be connected, or they're writing reports, they can absolutely find great success with the Surface 3, as well as fire departments or even police officers that need to be mobile at all times. So with that, this is the Surface 3. Please consider it, and it fits a great piece in our family of Surface devices. So in summary, Kaylin and I have talked to you about some great devices, the Surface family specifically, and how we're taking Windows 10 and bringing all of its great features to life. So if you have any more questions, or you'd like to learn more about these great, wonderful devices, please look at the resources displayed on the screen now and reach out to your customer exec today. Thank you.
Thanks, Kaylin and Mike, and thank you to everyone who could join us today. We really hope you enjoyed this edition of Innovative Devices for Your Business. On behalf of the Windows team, I'd like to thank you and hope you have a great day.